Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Did you change your socks for this?
No, should I?
No, they look cute. I thought I was like, did she just like coordinate her socks for that? You didn't flip us around.
Oh, yeah. I just noticed that.
I feel like I don't even need notes for this episode.
Really?
But I got this, yeah.
I almost want like a blankie.
I know. I feel so cozy on your couch right
Me
now.
too.
All right.
Can we watch a crime show tonight if we have time?
Can we please?
Okay. I mean, we'll have time.
Well, it's going to be early night.
Yeah, because we're...
I want you to
eating
shave my face.
All right, yeah. Yeah, I can't
You should
wait.
keep that in there.
I'm so excited.
You should keep that in there.
We're getting Italian and...
I'm getting my lips injected.
Love that for you.
Keep all that in here.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Sisters Show. We are so glad to have you here. We are having a chill vibe today on the white couch. And this is going to be a really funny episode. But before we start this episode, because we've obviously been mixing it up, it's like we have a serious one and then a funny one.
A joking one.
Yeah. What is your sister's shit for this week?
So, my sister's shit of the week is hot yoga.
Oh. Tell me more.
I just started doing hot yoga like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And you basically go into this room and it's literally like 100 degrees. Like literally.
So you walk in and you're sweating.
Yeah. Actually, from the moment you walk into the studio, you can feel it because they can't have like any AC on.
Wow.
My eye's still twitching.
Her eye's still twitching, and I'm actually... So you need to wear really good deodorant without aluminum in there, which the Wild deodorant works.
Yeah. So...
Wow.
It is genuinely unlike anything I've ever done. I've done yoga and I've sat in a sauna before, but I have never, ever felt like this in my whole life.
Is it the combo that you like?
The combo. It's so good. And I was trying to explain it to Joey because he's actually coming with me to a class on Saturday.
Aww.
Yeah. So it is so challenging in a way that I've never felt before because, like... You're trying to focus on core strength while you're doing the yoga positions and balance, but also breathing. And then you're also sweating buckets. So it's like this whole new level of breathing control that like I've never had before.
It's giving cold plunge vibes to me. Like
yeah,
the breath work.
Yes.
I know it's hot, but it's giving the vibe of like the thing that I loved about cold plunging was the mental fitness that came with it.
Absolutely. And it's just so good. And you leave the class feeling amazing and detoxified. And I mean, you have to go on a hair wash day, which coming from me, I hate washing my hair. So I have to after these hot yoga classes. But it's honestly been really good. I've been going like once a week. And I really, really have enjoyed it.
So how do they control all the sweat that comes off of you during this?
You have your spot with your mat on it, and then you can either bring a towel from home or rent a towel from the studio, and you have like that, your towel that like lays out on the mat, and then you can bring like a small one. Like most people will bring a small one that they kind of like put on throughout. And then the best part is that at the end, which I don't know if this is like a Miami studio thing because we have really good workout studios here, but like at the end, like some of the studios I've went to will wave like incense and then they put a cold towel with like lavender on your head.
Oh.
And like while you're like laying down, and it's just so good. If you guys are near any like yoga studios like that, totally
Is
try
it a chain?
No.
Cool.
Like it's like small independent studios and it's just so good. I mean, obviously every instructor is different, every class is different, but it's really freaking good.
Is it a yoga flow? Like is it really hard positions or?
So there's different types of classes. There'll be like the regular ones, like vinyasa flow, and then there'll be more like power ones. I did a yoga Pilates one, which is yoga and Pilates together, which was like chef's kiss, so good. But
is that what Joey's going to?
No, the one we're doing is I think it's a hip hop flow. So it's a little more like upbeat.
Oh, I love.
Yeah.
I want to go to a hip hop flow one.
No, we'll go to one next time you come. It's so good.
All right. My sister shit of the week is nothing health related. In fact, it's actually juicy gossipy. And so one of my favorite things to do is to watch like reality TV.
Absolutely.
Specifically, I like to watch reality TV when I'm walking on the treadmill. Mm-hmm. I watch things that I wouldn't necessarily watch with like the kids around, whatever. And it has been so long. And I know you did this when you first moved here. And I
Housewives?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, naturally, I started with The Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Oh, yeah. Best Housewives.
And I used to watch them back in the day, and then like having babies, and then had my Karen stage of like, oh, this is going to send me to hell if I watch this. And then, you know, now I know where I stand with the Lord, and it literally, when I watch like 90 Day Fiance, even like Naked and Afraid has turned into like a reality show for me, as far as like it kind of goes in I can watch Naked and Afraid with the boys, but like any kind of shows like that, they turn my brain off. Yeah. Completely. It's not like when I watch, I know we've talked about when you watch, you know, Love is Blind, it turns into like a couples therapy moment. No. The Real Housewives, though, of New Jersey has turned into a therapy moment, because I'm watching the last season, the very last season, and there's all this drama between Teresa and her brother. And Sean and I keep pausing and we look at each other.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh my god. And
we're like talking through shit that we've been through with like family bullshit and all that. And so, yeah, I'm almost about to finish. I want to say it's season 13, but it's been...
You started at the beginning?
No.
Oh.
No, okay. Because I watched, like, when Teresa flipped the table, I was watching that live.
Okay. So where did you started at, like, the newer ones?
I went straight to, like, last season.
Okay.
Which I could have went back and tried to find where I last remembered and binged the whole thing. But, like, I wanted to see what these bitches look like now. I wanted to see their Botox faces. Like,
I think the thing with Housewives that I really appreciate is, out of all the reality shows, I mean... I know most reality shows, obviously, like, I feel like people are, like, dumbfounded when they find out reality shows are, like, scripted a little bit. It's a TV show, of course.
Yeah, they're editing it to make it what
but I will say with Housewives, I feel like, I don't know if it's a facade, but I feel like, at least some of the ones I've watched, that it feels a little more, like, authentic to, like...
They're still going to cut it and make people look a certain way.
Of course.
The one thing Sean keeps saying, because clearly I got him sucked into it with me, is he's like, what's your aura ring saying right now? Because he can't, because it's stressful, especially Jersey. One of the things that they said that was so funny, and this is going to piss off all my like little legalistic Christians that don't like to listen to us when we say fuck, is the one girl lady, and I love her. I can't think of her name right now. She's like 50 with the big ass.
I don't know the newer New Jersey ones. I haven't.
I'm not. You gotta watch.
I know.
Okay.
I'm like.
Anyway, it was funny because one of them called the other one a rat, and she goes on there and she's like, "Listen, you can call us a lot of things from New Jersey: a cunt, a fucker, a whore, but you don't call us a rat." I was like, it was so funny.
It's prime time humor.
Because
it's so good.
And the other thing that was funny is Yanni like walked in and like he heard them talking and he goes, "This makes sense now." And I feel like going back to like, I don't know if we talked about this on our podcast yet, but like the East Coast, West Coast people are so freaking different.
Yeah.
And it shows.
I'm about to go to the West Coast for like the first, I mean, I went when I was like a child, but I was a child, and I'm about to go for the first time in June. And I'm like scared because I think they're going to think I'm like a nut job.
No, they literally, they if you say fuck or you raise your voice, like right now, this would be like, I'm aggressive.
Yeah.
And that's something I just can't get.
It's so
It seems
bizarre.
like they're way more sensitive over there too. Like you have to be a certain kind of G to be raised in the Northeast. And that's just, I don't care who I offend by saying that. Moral story is Real Housewives of New Jersey. I think it's season 13. It's their newest season, which
that's so
then
funny.
I'll be up to date for like the one that comes out. But it's funny because I watched it like when Teresa was pregnant, when she was doing tax evasion and all that. And you know, I guess I should have went back a little bit more, but I really didn't want to wait, and I wanted to see like how they're looking, because I'm pretty sure Teresa, she must have gotten like a mini facelift because she's 50.
She is, yeah.
But it's funny to see how they're snapping on each other.
I saw her once. Fun fact for our podcast listeners.
Yeah.
Teresa's house was literally like 10
in your
minutes.
town.
Oh yeah, we lived in the same town, so there would be like housewife sightings.
Yeah.
And I saw her one time outside of.
That was before she went to jail, I think, right?
When did she go to jail?
A few years ago.
I saw her like a few years, maybe before she went to jail.
Okay.
But because the dad got sent back to Italy.
Right.
But like the daughters grew up going to high school like in
your town.
My town. So it was just funny because whenever there would be like sightings of it, we would like see her and whatever, but it's a good time. Like, if you guys haven't seen The Housewives, it is genuinely it is an adventure.
What you need to do is, so you know what I'm talking about, East Coast, West Coast people, is watch The Real Housewives of New Jersey season 13.
And then like Beverly Hills.
And then watch Beverly Hills. And then you're going to say, oh, I get Jackie now. I get Athena now. Because
I completely
you don't even realize that it's a lot of us are the way we are from our, like, demographically, what is normalized. So when I first moved to South Carolina, I was talking to my mother in Walmart. I'm like 19 at the time. And I dropped F-bombs, but I wasn't saying them at her. It was in my sentence, like and I was literally talking about like the weather. And this old little Southern lady, bless her heart, walks up.
You see my eye twitch?
No.
Okay.
She walks up and she says to me, "Excuse me, young lady." And I was like,
no.
Yes. And and mind you, this was like, I'm 36. This was a while ago, 20 years ago.
She's probably dead.
God rest her soul.
R.I.P.
And she's like, "How dare you talk to your mama like that?" And I was like, literally talking about the weather. And I've had people in my coaching.
Your hair's sticking straight up.
Why? Are we ever going to like how we look on one episode?
No, I think I just hate it forever. I need like a mirror right here.
You have one.
I closed the door. It's fine. I'll just hope I like how I look.
Anyway, I've coached people and had like people in my life from like California. And yeah, it's just a different vibe. But then I also have California people that I love. So I don't want to be...
California is a huge state, so maybe it's like depending on like
where you are. Maybe
that's what I would assume.
Because I don't know jack shit about like as far as like if you're from the North California.
Yeah, I don't know.
As a because it's like comparing because it's such a big state, Jersey to freaking Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but I would assume that
there's Bigfoot in California and a lot of farmland. So I'm like, that has to be where my people are from. But the ones that I've had a hard time with are from like the fucking city areas. And they're like...
Really?
Yeah. Like Los Angeles.
I do want to visit LA one day.
It's there. You're missing nothing.
I know, but...
It gives like Vegas vibes. Like Vegas to me... I
don't know.
It's like Trashville.
Yeah...
But people said that about Murder Beach, which I totally agree with, by the way. Like the fact
that you guys call it Murder Beach.
I had all my sons in like a very low class city, but where I lived in Murder Beach.
No, where you lived was honestly like the biggest vibe.
Gated community, yeah, it was beautiful custom. But yeah, no, I'm so glad we got out of Murder Beach when we did.
The dirty Myrtle.
The dirty Myrtle, like the dirty Jers. You could talk shit about Jersey too, guys, so don't get your panties in a twist here. We realize everywhere has something bad, but watch The Housewives and you'll understand me and Athena a lot more.
You have to.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's it.
So
today,
let's get into it because we're going to be talking about boys.
Boys, oh boys.
Not the cooties.
No.
So we're going to be having girl talk about boys and men.
And husbands and boyfriends.
The male species that we would never...
In general.
That we would never want to date.
So today's episode is literally called I Could Never Date / Marry a Man Who...
Blank.
So this
Let's fill in the blanks.
I wonder how many, because we haven't compared notes, we're going to have the same. Because when Sean and I were walking on the 7 Mile Bridge, he actually was helping me make my list.
I'm dead.
I literally added things to the list from my husband because of how he knows that I would not tolerate it in him.
Oh, that's a good idea. I didn't do mine with Joey, but maybe now
you guys should cross-reference when you get off. It would be funny. Make him watch it or listen as you edit.
Okay.
Is my hair sticking up again?
No,
Who knows?
I think it's okay. All right, you want to take us away with the first one?
Absolutely. I could never marry or date a guy that plays video games.
Yeah.
Now, let me say,
all right,
when my husband was younger, he of course did Halo and was a gamer, and like my sons are gamers. So I think what I mean by that blanket statement is there's an expiration date to the gaming. Meaning, like, okay, if you're a father I don't care who I
was gonna
offend.
ask,
If
okay.
you are a dad and you get home from working 8-9 hours and your wife is with your children all day and you're sitting gaming at night when there's children in the house, shame on you. Shame
I was gonna
on
ask.
you, unless you make money with your gaming. There's
Okay.
also that, like if you're a gamer that has a channel, and I understand like the same way I watch the Housewives, like men and their games, and again, it is what it is. But if Sean picked up a controller, I would never fuck him again. He might as well just go cut off his penis. It's such a turnoff.
I get that. I do.
If Joey's sitting here, I know he still had that Xbox hasn't even come out in this apartment.
He did use it the other day.
And how did you feel about it?
It didn't bother me. But he doesn't play, like, I think what you mean, and I don't want to speak for you, but I think what you mean is, like, it literally being, like, a personality trait that, like, babe, I have to come home and, like, play. Or, like...
There's a new update in my game, and there was this thing launched. Or what about, like, them waiting in line to get, like, when, like, that was a thing?
No. Like, when he did it the other day, it was, like, I was, I think, editing or doing something, and we were, like, waiting to go out.
I also mean, like, Candy Crush on your phone, too. Like,
I can't with the Candy Crush.
No. Like, poker games on Facebook? No.
Absolutely. That is actually so funny.
That gives ick, okay?
Playing Candy Crush. Didn't Sean go through a Candy Crush phase?
When y'all would stay with us all the time.
Oh my gosh.
We all went through a Candy Crush phase of our lives.
Is Candy Crush still like a thing?
It's still a thing. But now they updated it to like I think it's a candy. No. It's like a fruit game. I'm not sure, but Yaya still plays it.
Oh my gosh. Like slice the fruit.
I won't touch you with a effing pole if you are a gamer. And my sons are gamers. And the funny thing about that is they know how their mother is. And I don't care who's like thinks I'm mean for this. Yanni will be like, oh, well, I can't be gaming when I like have a fiance. And I'm like, absolutely. I will come to your house and I will unplug that bitch.
Yeah.
It has to have an expiration date. Like imagine your baby sitting on your lap while you game.
I was going to ask how you feel about that.
Disgusted.
I haven't
Is this a generational thing?
I don't think so. Because people...
Don't you want your husband to be involved and like if you're watching a show?
Yes.
Or...
Yes.
Him with the controller and an infant there and like the breast milk on his chin?
And then it like spills because he's like not paying attention. And it's like, oh shit, like...
Are you a child and now you want to like you're paying a mortgage but you're gaming? No. Like you want to get freaky with me in the bedroom? Don't game.
Respect.
End of discussion. Like literally.
Okay, so my first one that I came up with is I could never date a guy younger than me.
Really?
Yeah. And
That's interesting.
What I mean, like, I know people are going to be like, age is just a number, whatever. But I think because my whole life, I have always felt like guys my age are just not, like, we're not even in the same ballpark, sweetie. Like, we're in completely different... Maturity-wise.
Makes sense.
Like, so maybe the older you get, then you could date a guy younger. Like, if you're, like, 45.
Like, I could date a younger guy in my 30s now.
Yeah.
That's
why, though, because you're older.
I love you, Sean. I'm saying if he died or if he cheated on me and then we cut his dick off and then I went to jail for a very short period, got out, and you had the kids.
I'd bail you out.
Right. At that point, living in Miami, I think that like in my 40s and 50s, I think that number thing goes away.
It goes away.
So it crosses out. But right now where you're at, could you imagine dating like a 17 or 18-year-old?
Dating?
Wait, a 17 or 18-year-old gamer?
Stop. These are just gonna compile. We're just like doing Build-A-Bear with like the worst possible man that exists.
We're building him now.
So so that's what it is. But I don't know. I feel like I just could never be with someone because I just feel like we're already on completely different wavelengths of life. And then I don't know. It would just freak me out a little bit.
No,
I feel like
sense.
I would feel like your mother.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't like that.
That would kind of freak me out a little bit.
Yeah.
That like I was alive before
it would also
born.
give me a complex, I think, even in my 50s, being with like I'm so far out of the dating game. I don't even know how that would look. But like I would,
the thought of,
because think about it, I had made 4 children. Mm-hmm. Even as hot as I am, you're like
Like people are gonna look at you and be like, you're a cougar.
I don't give a shit about what people think, but I'm talking about even like you think about I'm gonna be inappropriate. Should I go there? But like the stamina in the bedroom. But that also I guess goes to like your husband aging backwards, because sex for me has only gotten better as the longer and the more comfortable I am in my skin and my body.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess it could go either way, but I have an issue when you bring that up, like, and someone let us know who's listening to this podcast, if you're divorced and your body made babies for another man. I feel like the man that comes in your life doesn't have that same admiration and respect that, say, when Sean,
like it wasn't
when
his
Sean
kids.
puts my boob in his mouth, like they breastfed his kid.
Yeah.
Do you see? I know that's
but
it's not weird because it's you, and I don't care. You guys can. My husband likes my boobs, but do you get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying?
I do get what I never thought about
like
that.
every stretch mark on my body, Sean has respect for, and that's how I feel like every man should be with his wife and baby mama.
Yeah,
we literally gave them children, so I don't know. Let me know, like, on the comment, or
I feel like I haven't thought about it because I don't have kids yet. So like,
and because we hope to not be divorced,
and also that. But that's like super interesting, like introducing another man into your life, seeing every part of your body. When the body that you have literally created 4 children.
Like my C-section scars.
Right.
I have 3. I'm
sure that, I mean, I guess if you're a woman that has experienced this, whether divorce or like your husband passed away, I guess they would be able to speak on it. Like, do you go through a mental kind of like block when it comes to that?
I'm assuming if you're a good man, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I just know that as a woman, we have insecurities no matter what your age is. And especially when you make humans, things just aren't the same. And I haven't had plastic surgery despite my trolls online that think I have. Thank you for the compliment. And so like the titties look down and they're not as, filled out. Yeah. Kind of like deflated balloon situation. And it's like, I don't have any shame in that around Sean. And I feel like it's because
I get what you're saying.
He watched that big ass Marco Bear suck and get milk out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And he also knew, obviously he knew you before you had kids.
And that's the other thing about us with our men is he's literally knew me in my prime time. Yeah. And it's funny to watch us age. Because for reals, like when you are with your best friend, and I know you are seeing it in real time. Yeah. We're getting hotter. Absolutely. We're getting, the sex is better. It's just like, I love getting older with him. And I feel like so many relationships.
Well, I think the really cool thing is that you do have someone that's on the same wavelength, though. Like
with what? Like just with everything?
Just with as you age, like he's also gotten better.
Oh yeah.
Whereas imagine being with a man though that didn't have that same level of.
Well, that goes back to these standards that we have.
Yeah. I mean, high value women get high value men. So that's what it comes down to.
People think I'm a bitch, but it's like I have standards. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
And you have to say them out loud.
Absolutely.
Or they're not going to live up to that. And sometimes that comes in the form of nagging. Love you, babe. But yeah.
A good nag every once in a while does the trick.
No, you have to. All right, next thing.
Is it my turn or your turn?
No, it's my turn.
Okay,
I went on
you
a tangent. Go. Guys, this one's going to get me canceled again.
I'm scared.
The second cancel. I could never marry or date a guy that was better looking than me.
100. If you know me in real life and we've ever talked about relationships, I have said this.
I think
and in part to this, let me also add that, guys, I am giving you my 20-year-old wisdom. Okay?
I'm going to give my 36-year-old wisdom on this subject.
Listen to me now. I'm doing a grip for this one. Listen to me. A relationship will always work out better if the guy is more obsessed with the girl. And in secondary to that,
amen, sister.
If the girl loves the guy, needs the guy, is more obsessed with the guy than he is with her, the relationship will fail.
Oh my gosh, I agree.
Okay.
I totally agree.
And I don't know exactly what the science behind this is. Actually, I feel like I could give my 2 cents on it, but I 100% stand by that. And I have seen it real time with real life people in my life that anytime I've seen a relationship where I'm like,
that the woman is
the girl's a little
more into the guy.
Yes, it always.
And so, are you connecting looks to that then?
I would say the same with looks, because I just think that at the end of the day, most guys love a chase. And if they know...
Oh, yeah, it's primal for sure.
If they know that they can get any girl they want because of how attractive they are compared to the woman they're with, subconsciously or not subconsciously, I feel like they just go out into the world and know that they could have anyone. We could be broken up with or divorced for many reasons, okay?
Oh, yeah.
One of those reasons...
It will never be our looks.
It will never be our looks.
Yeah.
It will never be because you know you could do better. Like, that's just period. Like, that's it. And I feel like the reason it has to be like that is because, honestly, as a woman, like, let's get real. Of course, looks are important. And one of the things on my list is hygiene is important. But at the end of the day, I feel like I see online, again, we're going on a tangent, but I have to say this.
I didn't even get to talk about my
I know,
point
I
yet.
totally cut you off and
She
gripped
totally
my mic.
took it over.
Let me just say this, because
Okay.
I keep seeing people online saying, I don't understand how that super attractive 10 out of 10 girl is with that guy that's like so average looking. And
I can.
Because when they say like nice guys finish last, it's not true. If you find a woman that values herself and respects herself, we will choose someone that treats us and makes us feel like the only woman in the world over
The pretty boy.
over the pretty boy, over the
The
model,
cocky guy,
over
yeah.
the sports player, like
Over the money.
That shit doesn't matter.
Yeah, I agree.
Like there's a specific man that will make you feel that way.
Yeah.
And that's who you want at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's not the person that's like a 12 out of 10 that has girls like stopping him on the side of the street. Beautiful women like don't care about that.
No, when I say this, immediately, like you said, the ones who get it, and that's
Yeah.
fine. I'm not here to like talk you over into my corner. I think the only person that gets mad about someone saying this is if you're ugly. Straight up. And so I'm just keeping it real. This is my podcast. I can say what I want. So
Absolutely.
when I say that I could never marry a guy that was better looking than me, it does not mean that my husband is ugly.
Yeah.
It does not mean that I don't think he is the hottest guy in the world for me. But when you look back in Sean and I's relationship from when we were kids to as we grew, I was the better looking one. And in that relationship, it didn't mean that he was butt ass ugly, but just like what you're saying, I felt treasured. I felt like the only woman
Safe.
that ever existed. I felt safe. And the fun thing is now Sean, and he doesn't take any offense to this at all.
Yeah.
Like when
I feel like any secure man would.
no, like
because they know the value
don't
they
you
provide.
want to have the hottest bitch? Literally.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like from the man perspective, like you want to be dating a woman uglier than you.
That's not that
Absolutely
that
not.
means you have a
It's
little
a
pee.
flex.
Yeah,
It's a flex for them to be like,
Yes.
I have this beautiful women.
No, we are not sister wives. This is not the sister wives show.
I have this beautiful woman that is a 10 out of freaking 10, and she's all mine. And she's mine
I get
not
to have
because
her every day.
not because of my looks or
No.
my money, but because of how I treat her. Like that is the biggest flex you could have as a guy.
And when you think about couples that like the one is like an Instagram famous model and the other one's an Instagram famous model, they are so toxic typically together.
Yeah.
Because it's like ego and ego together. You got to have the opposite attract situation going on. And so I've dated good looking guys. I married an amazingly handsome guy that's perfect
I think
for
Sean's
me.
hot. Sean, if you're listening to this, you're a great man.
You're
but-
so hot for 38, she's saying. But no, I must be better looking than you.
Have to
and
be.
that gets a little tricky as you're aging, because here's what's bullshit is if I had the wrinkles that Sean has, people would say I'm an ugly old whore.
Wait, all I think of when you talk about Sean's wrinkles is how you were trying to like tape them open.
Yes, I was using frownies on his wrinkles and he like won't do it. He won't let me do it. This is the man that wears no SPF. So like, I'm like, he wants me to save his skin, but it's like, the point of what I'm saying though, because we're not turning this into a skin podcast episode, is men as they age get hotter.
Yeah.
Women, we don't get hotter to the society's standard.
Yeah.
And that's bullshit.
I mean, that's why sugar daddies and sugar babies exist.
Right. But no, even like, so Sean, we kill Sean because he cheated, or, you know, we got divorced, whatever. I would, and I say I went for a younger guy, he can't be better looking than me. He can't.
No.
And I mean that with my whole heart. And I don't care who the fuck cancels me for this.
I am totally on the same page as you.
Well, we are sisters.
We are.
Yeah.
All right,
So,
my turn.
Moving on.
So my next one is, I could never date a guy that has no work ethic, no drive.
I have that on mine. Yep. Keep going now.
No determination. I
literally have not motivated and lazy, no work ethic.
It is, I think, out of all the things,
Hello,
that is
gamer.
the biggest ick to me. Like, I don't know what it is.
Do you have a will to live? Like, I can't get with someone like that.
And you know what? And I think the reason why we feel so passionately about this is because we are both such hardworking, determined, driven people. Like, the thought of being with a man that doesn't know how to, like, work or, like, take care of things.
My first date with Sean, he was literally changing a tire on the side of 287 in Madison, New Jersey. Like, you want to know what took my panties off?
Yeah.
His work ethic.
Yeah.
All day long, baby. You could be ugly, which he's not. If you can work your ass off, that means we're going to build together.
Absolutely.
Sexy time for me. High five. Boom. All right. My next one is funny.
Okay.
And it gives more. This is out of my whole list. I think this one is the most deal breaker. And you're going to laugh.
Okay.
A man. I could never date a man or marry a guy who wears thong flip-flops.
No.
Like those rainbow sandals?
No.
And I live in the Keys.
Absolutely not.
When I see a guy and from top down, I'm looking at him and I get down to the feet, he could be a Playboy model. He could be Magic Mike material.
And then
Channing Tatum. And I look down and I see hairy, crusty,
unpolished.
Don't get me started because there's polished feet that I see in the Keys in flip-flops on guys. Let's not go there on this episode. In a thong flip-flop. I will never have sex with that person. I could never marry that person. You're like, well, okay, Jackie, that seems really mean. Like, if Sean tried to put them on, I would. He knows there's a no thong.
I don't even think they would come in the vicinity of your house.
I won't put them on my sons, let alone my husband.
It is a crime.
We were talking about it.
We had a whole
What
conversation.
are our husbands gonna wear? What is Joey gonna wear in Greece?
See, I'm extreme. Like, I don't want to see his toes unless he's barefoot in the water at the beach or tanning. Like,
Sean said he's gonna get. He had sneakers that they were like a different material. He's like, I'm just gonna wear those, like where you don't have to wear socks. They're like the meshy.
Oh yeah.
I'm like
almost like socks.
Because
sneakers.
he won't even venture into the slides.
No.
Because he doesn't want to turn me off.
How do you feel about like slides with socks though?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, me too. Anything with a sock on, I don't care.
I'm fine with when I see my sons wear slides.
Yeah.
Without socks.
Yeah.
But when they get to a certain hairy level and there's crust.
Is Yanni at that level yet or not yet?
There's hair on his toes.
I have hair on my toes. I shave it.
Me too.
You shave it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
We have some pretty polished feet over here.
Yeah. Oh, we can wear flip-flops.
Absolutely. My toes will be out.
My feet will be free and liberated.
Absolutely. But if you're a man.
But if your feet are out in a thong sandal, don't ever try to even, like, ladies, if you're insecure and you come around me, just make sure your husband has thong sandals on. You have nothing to worry about.
Yeah. Okay, how many more do you have?
Well, you took
the driven
one, and I have two more that we didn't already talk about, and then take care of themselves health-wise.
Okay, I have two more too.
All right, two and two. You go.
All right, so my next one is I could never date a boy or a man that marry that is like.
Oh, what?
I'm gonna be interested to hear about this since you have 4 sons. That's like too much of a mama's boy.
I was gonna put that on here.
Okay. And I'm not talking about like you have a good relationship with your mom. That's fine and great. And actually it's it's actually a green flag, like, great. But like, you know, those videos where they'll ask, like, rank your mother, your wife, and your kids.
Yeah.
And like, the mom has to go last. Like, if the mom doesn't go last.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yes.
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 Like, I just feel like
under your wife and your kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's some noggin, something wrong there. If your mom is, I don't know, like the relationships where they talk every day, or like, oh, like, my mom said this, or like, my mom thinks this, and it's like, you're a grown man.
Yeah.
No.
All right, so considering I have 4 sons,
yeah, that's why I want to hear your.
So I don't. Obviously, the boys are not in a dating time. The boys are not. That's not even on the radar. When it comes on the radar, you're going to be front row seat.
Oh, I can't wait
in South Florida.
I'm so excited.
Oh,
don't grow up, but I'm so excited. It's just going to be a wild adventure.
Yeah, so I just can't wait to see who they pick.
I know, me too.
We
talk about this all the time.
We always talk about, like, when we picture, because we know their personality so well, like, who they're with. Like, oh, he's going to go for a fat ass. Like, we go for that. Are we sick? Probably. Okay, so I want my sons and I know I will always have a very healthy, strong relationship with them.
Yes.
A very real relationship, a genuine relationship. But as mothers, I think one of the most selfish things we can do, all day long I cry when my boys get older.
Yeah.
I get emotional. It's hard for me. It's painful for me. But every stage, it's not attached to this narcissist control part of it.
That's what it is.
I'm excited to see them turn into the men that they're going to be. And I think that the real way to raise a man is you don't want him calling you every freaking day. Like, going back to video games, I'm raising men here.
Yeah.
And I want your wife to be number one. And my boys know that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I mean, do you think it's weird if I call them once a week? I really need to talk to them once a week. Like, but like, you know, like a once
But you know what I'm talking about.
Of course I know what you're talking about.
I mean, you know.
Like the toxic mother-in-laws.
Monster.
Yeah, that they're like, they still think that it's like low-key they're married to their son.
Yeah.
But you know where that comes from is they don't have a good relationship with the husband.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you trace these mama's boys to their parents, to the mom, more than likely the marriage example in that home is shit.
Yeah.
Because my boys see me and Sean play, laugh, giggle, fight. You know, it's a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
And they will emulate that in their future. And so 100% my boys, number 1 is God, number 2 is your wife, number 3 always your children, but I'm on that effing list for sure.
Absolutely.
I don't think I also think it's toxic to live with your mother-in-law. 100%.
Is that an unpopular opinion? I would assume that's like pretty normal.
Let me retract one part of it. If your mom doesn't have a place to live, like Sean died and I can't, like, I'm lonely, like, don't put me in the nursing home.
Yeah.
But I think especially when you're a new couple.
Oh my gosh.
Like, newlyweds should not live with their mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Unless you have like a mansion and she has her own like casita all the way over there and there's heavy boundaries. But I don't see any healthy mother-in-law living in your house situations.
Yeah.
Or father-in-law for that matter.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I
You need
agree.
boundaries. And I have 4 sons. I envision and I manifest and I picture, whatever you want to call it, in the future, my daughter-in-law's being my best friend.
Yeah.
And
it's
them,
going to be really...
And my daughter-in-law's calling me up and being like, this mother effer.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be like, excuse me?
I love
like that. That's
like
the mother-in-law.
Those videos when I see the pranks of like the guys that are with the girlfriends
and the mom,
they'll call their mom and be like, oh, is it okay if I bring like this other bitch like Casey home? And she's like, who?
Excuse me?
Absolutely not. You're not coming in my house with her. And it's like, where's your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Those videos crack me up because it's like, it's so real. And it's so how I envision you and me.
Well, that's why people say to me, like, I'm so sorry you don't have a daughter. And I'm like, I'm going to have 4 daughter-in-laws. And obviously I'm on here talking about the Real Housewives and how toxic Sean and I's family shit is. But we're changing that game for our family and breaking those cycles. And obviously, maybe my daughter-in-law, the thing that it also comes down to is I might not agree with everything that she does, especially with my health convictions.
Yeah.
But that is her family. That's where you have to draw the line. When my son becomes one with his wife, even, which I hope if I don't like her, he doesn't marry her.
Yeah.
but I want my son to be happy.
But I think too.
And once that union happens, back the fuck off.
Yeah.
And I will hold. There's not an ass I wouldn't kiss to be in my son's life and my grandchildren's life. And so you know that's not my personality.
Yeah.
But like these women and these mother-in-laws that have so much pride that they won't just suck it the fuck up. And if you don't agree with your daughter-in-law, you can't be in the room. Like suck it up if you want to have a relationship with your son. I will suck it up.
Yeah. And I think the fact that the boys know that you do have that perspective makes them so much more willing and wanting to be open with you about everything and actually respecting your opinion.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know. I feel like you have those kids where it's like, yeah, my dad or my mom doesn't really like who I'm dating, but whatever. But most of the time, it's probably because the parents put themselves in that position of making the child feel like overbearing with their opinion. Like, oh, well, over whatever, like, oh, well, she doesn't have a degree, or she does that. And it's like, look, you have kids knowing that, like, the 4 boys, like, they're all gonna have such different
everything,
and it's like, you have to just, as a parent, I feel like I can imagine you love your kids and
all the same.
I'm sure you'll tell them your opinions and tell them like, oh, she did that. Like, how do you feel about that? But you're not going to like go up to your son and be like,
I will not give,
wrong with you?
I'm not going to give my opinion unless it's asked. Obviously it will evolve as I evolve as a human being, and I don't know it all, and I don't have daughter-in-laws, and they're not even dating. So like we'll come on another episode. Yeah. But going back to, you can't say never. Like, oh, my son will never marry a freaking Democrat, or my son will never marry whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But I'm a very humble human being, and I want my children to be happy. And at the end of the day, that's all I want. And honestly, guys, the biggest, the zeros in the bank, the pink jet that I'll have one day, all the success in the world, having my sister building these brands with her, I want my sons to want to come home on Christmas and want to be, you know, if they hopefully live in the area or vicinity, like, I want them to throw their babies at me and know that I will love those kids fiercely. And that goes back to being a younger mom. Like, I can't wait for that. It's going to be so freaking fun.
Right. You want to feel like a safe place for them and their family. And like,
always. Yeah. And one thing that if my sons know until they die is, I love you no matter what.
Yeah.
You murder, you get a girl pregnant, even though we didn't raise you that way. Like, we will figure this the fuck out as a family.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest problems in the disconnect with parents and their kids. You raise them in the way of the Lord. You raise them with these values, but who the hell is perfect? And letting them know that you're going to fuck up. And when you do, guess who will be there? Me and daddy. And daddy might want to kick your ass. And I might want to kick your ass, but you are unconditionally loved. And that kind of vibration and family unit, not perfect ever, they'll come back home. Yeah. They're going to marry good women.
Yeah.
You're going to have a relationship with your daughter-in-law.
100%.
And so, yes, toxic mother-in-laws and loving your mommy too much, like, I will always make it clear, like, your wife is number 1, your children are number 2. Like, so I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I don't even have the monster-in-law stories for anybody to know, because unfortunately we have like a different relationship for Sean's mom. Yeah. But like, if he was on the phone with her all the time, oh no. I
can't even imagine like
if your mother-in-law's like telling me how to be with him, like, you don't know him anymore, sweet cheeks. No. Yeah. I think God protected me in a lot of areas with that, because I had 2 mother-in-laws.
Yeah.
I said had, like, I don't still have one of them anyway.
Wait, the other one's gone?
She shouldn't even be on the roster. I could never marry a guy or be with a guy that's shorter than me. Ever.
Yeah.
And I mean, even in heels.
Absolutely.
Like, if I put on heels, the highest heels I have, and I'm 5'6", which gets me to 6 foot, and you are shorter than me, like, I guess Joey could never be on the roster.
Yeah.
Is Joey 6 foot? He's not short.
He put on his license that he's 6 foot.
But he's not.
I think he's like in between. I don't even freaking know how
But for you, this is easy. See, this is the thing. She's 5 foot. I'm 5'6". So for me putting that statement out there, you kind of like lower your dating pool.
Like, you could never date our father.
Never. For more reasons than his height. We're too much alike. It would never work.
We're all too much alike.
You could never date daddy.
Absolutely not.
We would all kill each other.
We would.
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
I completely agree with that. I mean, if I were to date someone shorter than me, that means you're literally a midget.
Like, Actually, yeah, for you it would be.
I mean, is this like?
I just want it going back to like trust and feel. I want to feel like a feminine woman.
Yeah.
And I'm already a very aggressive, not feminine woman in a lot of areas. And so like a good, like you do the same hug with Joey, that hug in the kitchen where my head is in his chest.
Yeah.
That's it.
Do you sniff Sean?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, me too.
It's like a
bury yourself in the chest.
It's a comforting, like,
yeah.
All
right. So I completely agree with that. And I don't even think, I mean, are people going to think that's like a shaming? It is a shaming.
I am actually shaming. Yeah.
I mean, not that you're less
you could
valuable.
be a good
you
person.
Can be sure, but we just won't date you.
Right. I won't marry you, which means like you're not right for me either, and that's fine. And maybe you're not into my flavor. Okay. But like if you're shorter than me, and even in my stripper shoes, I need to be shorter than you. Mm-hmm. And Sean has passed that test.
Absolutely. He's a giant.
I know. You also have giant kids. I like it. It's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah, my stomach is growling on this whole episode. I wonder if you hear it. All right, go on.
We're getting Italian after this.
Oh, Italian. After my lips.
Yep.
Should we vlog it? My lips?
Let's vlog the whole day.
All right. Like the day's not over.
Okay, so my last thing on this list is I could never date a guy that is overly controlling. Mm-hmm. Like tells you, and I think you'll know what I mean when I say this, like, oh, like, you can't walk out of the house and that. You can't go do that. I think because my personality is like, what do you mean I can't do it? Like,
this is funny because I just had this conversation with Sean on the way here.
Really?
Yeah, I'll tell you why.
Okay. But I just feel like, I don't know. Of course, I believe in boundaries and like respecting the other person. And when you're in a relationship, like, and you actually love the other person, you want to respect their boundaries.
Yeah,
and it doesn't feel like, you know, like obviously different couples have different, you know,
things that work for
things
them.
That work. And one couple does something like I literally have seen couples where like the one person isn't okay with their partner, like going out with like their friends or like that type of thing. But, like, obviously, everyone's different. But, like, I could never be with someone that was, like, overly controlling and telling me what to do instead of, like, having a conversation about things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's giving dad vibes. And
yes.
it's also with strong personalities like you and I, we want to do it more.
Yeah.
And that's what Sean and I were talking about because he's, like, very anti-Botox.
Yeah.
Which we've talked about.
Okay.
So he knows, like, if I want, I'm going to a place and I'm getting my lips injected. And he's like, I hope that, he said to me in the car, I hope that like, you're not going to just like, she's going to peer pressure you. And I'm
going to peer pressure you?
No.
Oh,
the injector. No, not you.
I'm like, does Sean think I'm going to peer pressure you into
like
Botox?
You would ever tell me to get Botox? Like really? No, you're my biggest fan. No. So he was just like, I hope it's not like, you're not even, and he didn't say it in like a controlling way. I'm laughing when he's saying it to me.
Yeah.
And he goes, I hope like out of respect, like he's like, I love your face. I like your expressions. You don't need Botox. He's like, I hope it's out of respect that you're not doing it. I said, Sean, if you were doing it in any kind of condescending, controlling way, I would inject myself with Botox out of spite. Like, that's my personality.
No, that's how I am,
like,
too.
don't tell me I can't because then I'm gonna.
Yeah, which I feel like is why we both are with men that, like, are super respectful.
But people on the outside that don't understand our relationships, because our relationships are a lot alike, think that we have, like, they're simps for us.
Just a little. But
I was like, wait, what is little?
Not penis size.
I looked down like, is there an ad? Like
just a little. No, but I get what you're saying, and I think people do think that. But the crazy thing is that I don't want to feel like you're my father, and I don't want to feel like your mother. And when you have two independent, confident people that trust each other and are able and capable of communicating properly, like, that doesn't happen.
But at the end of the day, and I haven't seen Joey in this position with you yet, but I long to see it one day. It would be so funny for me to watch the dynamic. Is I might clap back at Sean, and I know how you talk to Joey, like people are like, oh my gosh, whatever. But when Sean puts his foot down, Daddy Sean talked. Like he's not talked. That's not how he spoke. Meaning, like there's certain things in my marriage. Obviously, I have 14 years in this shit. That when Sean speaks up about the things that matter, there's like I cannot influence them. So whether it's something that happens with his family
Yeah.
or with our children, like when Daddy Sean speaks, like I obey that shit.
Yeah.
And but it's out of respect.
Exactly.
So 90% of the time, Mommy Jackie is the one that's like, and I'm not saying Mommy, Daddy, whatever. I'm saying it because the kids, but like, yeah, I'm the louder one. I'm the one that comes off more aggressive. He's quiet. But at the end of the day, when the door shuts and I'm in the room, like if he has something to say, I listen and I respect it.
And I think that's so important in a relationship of two people, because it is a relationship of two people. And
it's a partnership. It's not a dictatorship.
Exactly. And I think that's why I feel like I could never date a guy that was overly controlling, because I'm like, I've dealt with it in like religious circles.
Yeah.
I've seen it in family circles.
Yeah.
That whatever. And it's like, I could never be firsthand under like the wrath of someone.
Yeah. And it's insecurity.
Yeah.
Like when people are paranoid about, like every guy I've ever dated in the past before Sean, you know, on my long roster I don't have, they were jealous because they were cheating. Or they were the ones that were like doing the things behind your back. And so, no.
And I think sometimes too, like even our dad, who has like a very different
dynamic in his marriage,
and dynamic on certain
of
things
the
when it comes
roles
to
and
it.
everything,
Like, I feel like sometimes whenever we say that, he takes it like all the way in the other direction, and he's like, "Oh, like you just don't want to listen to anybody." And it's not about that.
No,
like
it's
the whole
definitely not
point
about
is
that.
that we both respect each other, and things don't really need like I don't know if you guys, I don't think we've ever gotten into an argument over something that like I didn't do, or like
me clubbing in Miami at 5 a.m.
that was
It never happened, by the way.
it didn't ever happen.
But anyway.
But I don't think. Yeah, but even that, like, it wasn't even.
That was 100% from a not a control. It was like a protective.
Yeah, and I would rather have someone that feels protective over me and feels like they want to make sure I'm safe. And there is a difference, because there's a difference in a man being like. What was that? I just like choked on like my own air.
That's what happened. And my stomach's like.
I guess I'm fasting today, so we'll see how I like it, because I like didn't eat.
You should keep that in.
There's a difference between a man wanting to make sure you're safe and okay, and then wanting to control you for the purpose of just feeling like he's in control.
Yeah.
And I think that's what
there's toxic
differentiates.
masculinity and toxic alpha out there, and that's someone that has issues. Should
we do the rest of the episode like this?
Are you guys watching this right now? Athena's completely.
Guys, you have to watch us.
I need to wear socks because someone's gonna like take pictures.
You don't want
of
to
my
join?
feet. So last but not least, this one, if you know me at all, you're gonna laugh and be like, yeah, obviously. I could never date or marry a guy that had full trust in big pharma, the government, the news, like that their doctor was their god, that didn't know how to think for themselves. I don't care your political party, I don't care, because I'll sway you. No, I'm kidding. I'm never voting again. But I don't care about any of that. Obviously, there's always going to be like my faith and convictions I have that are very important, which thank God I don't have to worry about that with Sean and all that. But could you even imagine if when 2020 happened, my husband like masked up and like believed everything he saw and like didn't, like we've always been on the main issues like united, and I just can't find it attractive when like your God is your government, like a rule following.
If something like that were to happen, that would be like a major user error in the dating process. Like you made a big whoopsie.
Like you didn't find that in the beginning.
Yeah, like if there was a couple where like that happened, like
people don't talk about these things.
I find that so
like they don't talk about like, hey, do you want to homeschool? Do you want to vaccinate? Like there's couples that don't.
I could literally go into the depths of topics about like the proper conversations you should be having with your partner before you get married or have kids. Like it's so bizarre to me. I feel like people don't have conversations that like they should have, and it's like duh, but like they don't have them.
Yeah, I agree. But imagine when everything went down in 2020, Joey was like totally, completely freaked out. Obviously, everyone took it different ways, right? We were all like trying to figure out what's going on here, whatever. But like, if to Joey, his God was like mainstream media.
Like if he was like, no, I can't see you until like the quarantine's lifted.
Exactly.
We wouldn't be together. Like I'd be like, okay,
like
bye.
Athena, you can't come over and leave your groceries outside my door because I don't want to get COVID from you.
No, we wouldn't. We'd be broken up.
That's what I'm saying. So
absolutely not. I would have gone and found someone that let me come over.
I'm also exactly, and I'm also going to add this to the list. I think that I didn't know here, which goes in the same line, and then we'll cut it because this episode's too long. Is a rule follower to the T, like a man that doesn't bend a little bit with their, the speed limit, the government laws, like a little goody two shoe.
Oh my gosh, I could never date a goody two shoes.
Never.
Or like someone like honestly, like one of the most attractive things is when like something's happening and he'll just be like, I'm like, oh, like are you gonna, or like don't you think that, and he's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's hot.
Yeah.
Like, don't care.
Yeah.
Because, like, I could never date someone that was like, oh, I can't do that because...
What will they think and what would it
Absolutely not. Get away from me. I think it comes down to, at the end of the day, when you find a person and you get to know a person better than anyone else in the world, you have to be aligned. And I love the word aligned because you don't have to think the same in every way. You don't have to agree. In fact, if I was with someone that I agreed with every single thing about, we would never have interesting conversations.
Exactly. And you wouldn't push each other to grow.
Right. But to be with someone that you didn't feel like in the same even universe with, like I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know, but that goes back to people dating just off of like looks alone. I feel like that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Or trying to push something that's not meant for them. But anyway, that's all we have for you guys today for this episode. And if you have any I would never date or marry a guy that blanks that we didn't touch on, leave a comment on our Instagram, The Sisters Show. You could always write into us. And of course, as always, leave us a 5-star. I think you said 4 on the last episode. No, maybe you said no. 5-star review. It helps our podcast be seen to new people. And we love you. And we'll see you next time.
We love you guys so much. Bye.
Bye, guys.